You are the last of your kind. All that remains of a once powerful nation.
I knew you were real. I always knew you returned.
You are the only one who can bring balance to a world at war. But some will stop at nothing to destroy you.
Your destinies are tied, Zuko.
We started a rebellion.
He will need you. And we all need him.
Dong, dong, dong.
Welcome. Oh man, sorry. I realized what I'm missing. I just need to get a blue pen and just draw an arrow on my head.
Oh, don't stop now, Quinny. Don't tease us like that.
I believe they may be permanent markers on my desk. So either that or there's a gold Sharpie. So I'm not going anywhere near those. Hello and welcome to the Periodic Table of Awesome. This is the episode that you have been waiting. Well, one of you has been waiting for quite some time, and we are very, very happy to be here. I am Quinny. That person somewhere is Jill. That other person is Peter, and the guy with the long hair and the beard is, I don't know, some guy, Dion, I guess.
According to the screen, because you left the Zoom after I'd set everything up and I came back, is Eta, not Peter. So hang on, let me try and fix that. There we go. Her name's
Hello,
Eta. ETA.
Estimated time of arrival.
Yes.
That's me.
Yes. Now we're all, we're all around the wrong way and our names are in the wrong place. And I blame you, Quinny.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I blame LBN Company or the people who provide internet, and I say provide internet to my apartment block because once again tonight I find myself having to do this tethered off my fucking iPhone.
Hooray! Well,
yeah, so this is going to go great, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to do, just create some dance music for me while I shuffle things back around so it looks more visually pleasing. Ready? And 3, 2, 1.
Okay, are we really doing this?
Yeah, it's actually happening. I'm doing it live. It's live.
I mean, what we usually do is we just keep talking while Dion does.
I know. That's why I was like,
this is fun.
Yeah, it felt kind of weird, and but here you go. So tonight we are talking about The Last Airbender, the film by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Sadly, the only of his films that didn't feature a twist.
What a twist!
And the twist was that it was shit.
There was no twist.
Yes, there was no twist. Oh my God. No, we are not talking about that. What are we talking about? We're talking about...
Okay,
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the name of the movie as well?
No, the film is just called The Last Airbender because they didn't want to be confused with the Blue Cat people.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Which we should probably actually play the real trailer for Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon animated series, as a false start. I know. Sorry, I had to. It was impossible to not to. So what are we going to do? We're going to do this.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Firebenders attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed, and my brother and I discovered a new Avatar, an Airbender named Aang. The problem is, this Avatar is still a kid, and although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
Yes, that's what we're actually talking about. Avatar,
Yay!
the last Airbender.
And
Yes.
I believe that would then make us all pod benders. Tonight we are bending the pod.
Are we?
Yep, absolutely. There you go.
Sure.
See, Jill is now a qualified and badass pod bender. Actually, I do want to know if you could be any kind of bender, and not the one from Futurama.
Damn it, Quinny! Stop ruining this shit for me. I've got so many bad jokes.
Sorry, dude.
I want to be a bender.
And that's where we bring in John the Machine. No.
Bend my
would be
shiny
amazing.
metal ass. Oh wait, there's Toph. Oh my ass.
My shiny metal bending ass.
Anyway, yes.
So tell me, what kind of bender would you be? I'm intrigued to know, Jill, what kind of bender would you be?
Time?
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then I could just nap for whenever I wanted to. I just put time on pause and have a nap.
Oh no, I'm late
I
for
think
the
that's
party.
amazing.
Yeah. I don't need
So
these petty earth elements.
Yeah, I'm going to go for all these crazy ass
I'm
elements.
going for time.
I like that. That's awesome. Time bending. It's like it's a little bit like the Time Turner from those books with the Harry Potter people in it.
Yeah.
But not. Peter, if you could bend an element, what element would you bend?
I kind of feel like airbending looked like a lot of fun. I feel like it would take a lot more agility than I actually have. But also there's always air. You can't, just be like, oh, you're locked in a metal box and there you can't do your thing. Like, air just seems like a practical one to me.
Sorry, I like Predakanga's one. I would bend the element of surprise.
Oh, that'd be wearing. Oh, ever. I'm always surprised. It's like having
I
these
like
jokes constantly. What would you?
Dion.
Me. Okay.
Yes.
Well, time's been taken, and air's been taken. I would like to bend the mind. I'm going to be mentored, the mind bender.
You're already a bit of a mind bender, Dean.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
I mean,
you got no work to do, buddy.
I'd take blood, but that's already taken because, but that seems like more of a curse. It sort of seems like a very evil thing to do. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to control you through your blood.
Yeah, not dark at all.
No.
And
what do you...
I personally, I would like to take a leaf out of the Captain Planet book. Because if yes, I'm gonna bend height.
Oh, that's so Quinny.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's
that's the
disgusting.
quinniest thing that's ever happened on the Twitch stream.
Oh fucking hell! Bending heart, Jesus. Take it down a notch, Hufflepuff.
To be honest, yeah, I am very much a Hufflepuff and proud. Well, if that's okay with you. But I do like the Rob's thing there, that he would be a bender of the fifth element.
Right.
By which I hope he means love and not just Mila Jovovich.
I was just going to say, hey, Dino, thanks for subscribing. But also, hey, Dino.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
So, yes, okay. We are talking about this, and I would love everybody in the chat to tell us. Yeah. So, this is an animated series from Nickelodeon, and we watched it because we were told we had to.
But where can you find it, Quinny?
Well, currently it's on Netflix.
Thank you. That's all I
Hang
need.
on. Does that mean that you are, in fact, a sound bender?
Oh! Nope. No,
Hang on,
Quinny.
let's just try that again.
All right, you ready?
Oh! Yeah! This is all
terrible.
great content for the podcast, isn't it?
It's terrible. Oh, God. Yeah, so
Right.
Nickelodeon, they do series of cartoonsy things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you what it's actually about?
But why? Sure, why
Please.
not?
Okay. In a war-torn world of elemental magic, a young boy reawakens to undertake a dangerous mystic quest to fulfill his destiny as the Avatar and bring peace to the world. Very straightforward.
Nice.
Excellent.
It is.
Or as I call it, monkey for millennials.
Unproblematic monkey.
Yes, unproblematic.
Yes.
Monkey without all the weird shit.
Well, I don't know. There's plenty of weird shit in this one. Let's be honest.
Yeah, okay. I like what they did with the animals, but I've also got to admit, this one we've come about to do because Casper, our lovely listener, and who is there in the chat? Hello, Casper. Yes, ever since we've been asking for things like, what should we review, guys? Which has been a lot of shows. Every time he's like, you should do Avatar. We've always joked like, oh yeah, it's just too much. But finally,
Yes.
in the space of second lockdown, why not watch 60-something fucking episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
You almost got there, didn't you, Dion?
I did. No, I did. I have watched.
You did. You watched all of them.
Holy shit.
I watched every single episode available of
Wow.
Avatar: The Last Airbender and fuck Korra.
Okay.
I don't have the
Well,
time.
I did want to check on that because Jill, I think you
I
went in for the
watched-
Korra a bit.
Yeah, because I've mentioned before, I'm not going to watch Avatar out of spite. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll watch Korra because it's like adjacent. And I think I watched 3 episodes. Sorry, didn't do a lot of work.
I
Because-
didn't even know Korra was a thing until I saw the artwork for this episode. So I might have missed that one.
Yeah, Jill was like, The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. What's The Legend of Korra? What the fuck was this? This wasn't on the
No, I
recommended
already
reading
knew,
list.
I knew what Legend of Korra was. I've got friends that have cosplayed Legend of Korra. And I'm like, yeah, I'll give that one a go. I'll
Yeah,
tell you my
nice.
thoughts later.
When we get to The Legend
Okay.
of Korra.
So
But let's focus on Avatar.
yeah, not Beavertar.
Could be a beavertar. There are many mixed animals in this. I only have one thing to say. In this world, the animals all fuck.
Doesn't that happen in every world?
Yeah, but like they
How are
mix,
there more animals if not?
but they mix together. They're mixing together.
Oh,
Like, it's kind of the duck beaver or the weird kind
Right.
of flying shrimp.
But
It's
you know,
like-
that's one of the things I liked
Or-
about it. It's part of some fun world building that you've got these
Yeah.
hybrid animals that are like our world, but not our world.
Sure.
yeah.
No,
Dude,
And I
that's just me.
I know I love that. That was one of the things about it that I really dug. I love that, there are all these weird little animals and every time you see them you're like, what are you a mix of?
I love that
What's your weird thing?
the earthbending king just had a normal bear and everyone was surprised. Yeah. it's not some other bear. No, it's just a bear. It's a regular bear, and they were all like, "Oh, that's weird." The king has a weird bear. It's just boring bear.
I like the little red panda ferrets. They're cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that that actually feeds into the rest of the world building as well. Like you were saying, Pete, that there's a whole thing about where and this is sorry, I was about to go like right into the end of season 3 spoiler territory. Sorry. But there's this whole thing that bending comes from nature, and specifically from various different animals. Dion, can you talk to that?
What I can talk to is I'm definitely putting spoilers up, and I'm not holding back because it's been out since 2004, and 17 years is long enough for people to watch a television show, especially when we promoted we were doing this weeks ago. So if you haven't watched Avatar and you're afraid of being spoiled, I haven't got much for you.
Okay,
Anyway,
fair
back
enough.
to the animals
So,
fucking.
yes.
How do you get
No,
a
I love that.
what?
I just love that the Earthbenders actually were the first Earthbenders were moles.
Fuck.
And they're
That's
a
a bit
breed of
harsh.
blind. Yeah.
Were the firebender skanks? I mean, where are you going with this, Quinny?
Yes, they were. No, they were just a couple of old dragons, but whatever. Yes, that's right.
God.
Avatar humor that you get now. Funny.
Oh God. It's true.
Yes,
there.
I love that. I love the idea that bending is just a natural part of the world, and it's something that humans have learnt over the years from their interactions with the natural world around them. And I think like the idea of what this world is lovely. When you look at it, you're talking about world building, Peter. The idea of the interconnectedness of this whole world is beautiful, and I'm boring the shit out of Jill.
No, I'm sorry. You're really not.
It's okay. I did like it though. It was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, interconnectedness of all things. Yeah, cool, whatever, dude. Get on with it.
See if I could do
Funny
the time
because it's how the real world works as well, though.
Yes.
What, the
true.
interconnectedness of things? Oh, how
The
dull.
interconnectedness of all things. Ask the natural history documentarian. I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Tell us more about the interconnectedness of all things, Peter.
How do we get a flying bison? A sky bison? Whatever you call it.
Who were the original airbenders? And I think that's fucking cool.
Okay, the only thing that really bugs me about the sky bison is that they're not very aerodynamic.
No.
No.
I mean, for something that's evolved to fly, like it doesn't,
But also doesn't
doesn't feel like it makes
either. It's magical.
Yeah, and at what point in time?
Falcor as well. Like Falcor didn't have wings. It was just like magical flying.
Yeah, but he was born aloft by hopes and dreams. Yes.
So who is
And
Avatar?
luck.
Born on an egg on a South Pole rock. Avatar is Avatar. He won't ever stop.
He learned every magic trick under the sun.
He can firebend and waterbend and really run. Avatar magic.
Avatar magic.
Avatar magic.
Avatar magic.
Avatar magic. Sorry. There
The
we go.
nature of Aang is
It's
irrepressible. That is
yes.
correct, Amy.
Yes. Okay. I really liked Monkey. And
Mhm.
this reminded me of watching Monkey, but I will agree, done in a more American friendly way, but also done in a way that I think was sympathetic to the original, like the source material, which made it sort of fall in a nice little drop sweet spot.
Can somebody tell me about the source material? Did this start off as an American cartoon, or was there source material?
This is completely original stuff.
Yeah.
It's not based on any particular existing anime or anything like that. It was an original concept made essentially by the creators, and went, hey, we're going to do our whole new story. And yes, inspired by Journey to the West.
Yeah.
But very loosely inspired by.
I'm pretty sure it came down to like, hey, anime's popular. There's lots of people out there who like that. We could make one of those, but American, so we don't have to pay licensing rights. And everyone went, yes. But obviously the creators of this weren't just doing it for a buck, because they have love of the source material, which is why
it's also much more expensive to make something than to license something. So
sure. But then I also really respect the fact they did 3 seasons and were like, no, we've told our story. We're fucking out.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
done.
absolutely.
Which is rare
And
these days.
what's more, it was structurally based around the ideas of, we've got the 3 different elements that he needs to learn. So he starts off as an airbender, and then each book is based on the element that he needs to learn. And so he has to learn about water, earth, and fire, not in that order. And I like that the world that they build is very much like each arc kind of has something in common with the element that they're trying to explore.
A quick survey though, who watched all of Avatar?
A long time ago.
Who watched some of Avatar? How far did you get, Pete?
it's a good chunk of season 1.
Well done.
Some.
Look,
Okay, good.
shit went down this week. I'm sorry. I would have watched more. I tried.
It's fair enough.
I know how you feel.
Yes, it's okay. And Jill, we understand you're Switzerland in this whole thing. You're a conscientious objector, which actually plays quite well into the whole themes and narratives of Avatar. Like that is, you're not alone in that way. But I also haven't watched any of Korra, and I think that was Pete. I would sort of say if you ever get interested in watching the rest of it, you will potentially find some more interesting stuff in it after season 1 or book 1.
Okay.
Especially when you get into the stuff like genocide and totalitarianism and the very thinly veiled swipe at all of China.
Oh, there's some politics.
There is a whole political thing there. When I watched that whole arc, I was like, wow, really? Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Brave of you to adopt a storytelling technique and then use it against the countries of origin, but sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, it's ballsy. Like, and I think the thing that surprised me about it was how big it aims, because like you watch a lot of kids cartoons and everything, and I guess what you see through most of season 1 is fairly small stories. Like there's Aang and Sokka and Katara, and they kind of go off on this adventure to try and help Aang do what he needs to do. And they'll go to a different place and they'll have a kind of an adventure, and it's very, very formulaic storytelling. It's like Cities of Gold and all that kind of stuff. It's by the book adventure story, weekly half-hour adventure. But then somewhere around season 2, they kind of crank it right up, and suddenly you're like, oh shit, okay, there's full nations at war, and massive fucking sort of political intrigue and all sorts of stuff.
Sure. I mean, I kind of, and I watched it all in a very long whack, like so much so as like, what are you doing? I'm watching Avatar. Still came the question like, you need to stop watching Avatar. I was like, I'm almost there. But I did finally get through it. I actually had to admit, I really liked the fact that they had actual character development for all of the characters, which made me understand like, oh, this is actually a very interesting progression that they're doing. Some characters I thought progressed better than others, and some were pretty stuffed. Yes. And can we talk about my cabbages? Yes, you can. That was a great callback joke. Yes. I like that one. Because it came back. Like,
yep.
My cabbage just came back. Oh, well, I've got to keep watching for that then.
Yeah, two seasons later, the cabbage joke just is like, oh, that was the cabbage joke. Like, what the fuck?
And characters and settings that you've introduced to quite early on then also will come back later. Like I early in season 1, you're introduced to Boomy, or as you find him to be, King Boomy, who is the utterly bizarre king of one of the Earth nations. And then, what was it, like middle of season 3, they bring him back in? And it's just like, okay, cool, we're back with that guy again. Sweet.
Yep, doing all the same stuff, kind of, they set stuff up, but then they're not afraid to either return to it in a different way, or at least give you a bit of satisfaction about how it's all kind of wrapping up, which is what I will give it one fault in the end, though. By the end of it, I'm like, you're not wrapped up yet. You're not wrapped. This is a filler episode. We know what you've got to do. Get to the fucking monkey.
Literally.
Like, I know what you're doing. Just, can you, Aang, you're the Avatar, fucking just go beat him up. Just go beat that guy up. I don't care about your moral quandaries anymore. Just fucking kill that guy. That's all I want to see you do.
I think my emotional heart was broken the most when Uncle Iroh left us. I loved Iroh. He was great.
Well, okay, maybe we should talk about some of the characters. Jill, Peta, who are your favorite characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Down.
Well, No, look, to be fair, yeah, I didn't, I probably, what is it, 3 seasons, and I got halfway through season 1, so I've watched a 6th of the series, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you know Aang.
I know Aang.
Yeah.
I know Sokka. And I very much hope that there was some strong character development done with that very deliberately flawed character.
Soccer. Or as he's known in the rest of the world, football.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not proud.
Yeah, you get to meet Avatar Aang, you meet Sokka, you meet Katara.
Yeah, I know Katara.
You meet D. Bradley Baker doing all the rest of them.
Prince Zuko.
Prince Zuko seemed like an interesting character to me. And it seems from some clips that I've seen that perhaps there's some interesting character development there as well.
Why is Prince Zuko an interesting character? Come on, I'm asking a question. Do you know why he's the most interesting character in Avatar The Last Airbender?
I didn't say he was the most interesting character. I just said it seemed like he was an interesting character. It seemed like there's a lot of space for development of that character.
I know why he's the most interesting character in Airbender, though.
Yeah.
You know why?
Oh!
Rufio! You're doing it, Peter. Bangarang.
Okay, so Quinny and I are definitely alone on that one.
Cool. I've
never felt so alone.
I've seen Hook. I'm not making the connection.
Dante Basco, the person who plays Rufio, the cool one of the Lost Boys in that one.
Is Prince Zuko, and does a good job.
So it seems to be playing a similar character, really.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, I loved Uncle Iroh because that was played by Mako, or Mako, depending on how you pronounce it. Who is an actor who's shown up, but he was the original, the narrator for Conan the Barbarian and stuff.
Yeah.
And he has that wonderfully gravelly voice. He was the voice of Aku in all of the Samurai Jack animated series as well. Yes. And I love his voice, but I also loved his character, who is, somebody who's like, you could just sit down and have tea.
Yeah. He was good. He's a lovely character. I think everyone in it has a bit of a chance to breathe, as it were. Apart from the Fire Lord, I still don't understand what his purpose was, but he was voiced by Mark Hamill.
Make the plot happen.
But he's voiced by Mark Hamill, so I'll just forgive that one.
Interesting. I was just reading that one of the last characters added into the whole series was Zuko.
Really?
Originally when they were writing it, the Fire Lord was going to be the main bad guy all the way through, and they realized that it was really boring to have a bad guy who just sits on a throne. So you need to have active members of the,
Sure.
Which I think is cool.
And also,
the only Zuko connection I can make is that I saw a cosplayer in Melbourne that had the scarred face, but he was dressed as a greaser, and he was Danny Zuko.
Buy that cosplayer a drink. That's a good one. I love it.
I am annoyed I didn't see that.
Tell me a bit about the character development across 3 series, because starting to watch it, and one of the reasons I was having trouble being engaged. Obviously, this is a kids. The audience for this is kids. It's a Nickelodeon animation. That was the originally intended audience. I coming at it as a grown-up, and a grown-up who did not get my joy from cartoons as a kid. So there's not a lot of nostalgia value in the format for me. One of the reasons I found it hard to engage with it is because the characters felt quite one note for most of it. Aang is childish with a big heart. Sokka is toxic masculinity packaged in a young teenager. There was just it's hard to kind of connect with characters. I really like the idea of character development and that the 3 seasons give an opportunity for that, but does it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to admit, watching all of this in the first season, I was like, this is a struggle. This is going to be a grind. And then by the end of it, I was like, oh, they all actually had independent chances to have character development and relationships and a whole bunch of other stuff in there and communicate those to each other in ways that help children, especially, figure out how to communicate feelings, which I thought was quite lovely. I think it might be giving me a bit too much of a, maybe that's too much of a what they were going for there. But I thought it was interesting that at each point, every character gets an opportunity to explain their frustrations, and by verbalizing it to other characters and working on a solution for almost everyone's issues, it helped children to describe what they were going through. And that's something I'm learning as an adult. I'm like, kids really need that.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of season 3, there are moments where Aang, who has, essentially been very much your monkey style character, he's very driven by, joy and wanting to do fun things and also his mission. He's weird. He's kind of the weird combination of what if Monkey was also Tripitaka. He is the holy man who has a grand destiny, but also he just wants to fuck around and have fun and eat nice food and go flying. And by the end of it, there are moments where there are like points where somebody said to him, like, don't you ever get angry? And he's, of course I get angry. Like the moment where this happened and I found out that all of my family had been killed and all of these people that I care about died 100 and something years ago. Of course I get upset. Of course I get angry. And I want to hurt people, but I'm also not allowed to. And that's frustrating too. And you're like, oh, look at this fucking... Yeah, exactly.
Just fly away on my sky bison. Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. And yeah, there are other moments where Sokka even, there's a sort of a 2-part episode towards the end of season 3 where they are breaking Sokka's father out of prison. I think it's 2 or 3-parter even. And that's one where you're like, shit, they're actually doing like a straight up prison breakout thing.
Oh, I have a clip there, Quinny. Did you want to have a look at that clip, which is a discussion between 2 characters who do a fair bit of growth over the course of the whole 3 seasons, which is Zuko and Sokka, who are forced to work together in order to try and do this prison breakout, which they didn't tell everyone else. That was actually what I thought was the most wonderful thing about it. Even though the Avatar is there and could help them, they were just like, we're going fishing, and just fucked off to do a whole prison breakout that was amazing. He's trying to rescue his father and his girlfriend, and it's all kind. And Zuko's trying to redeem himself after being a complete dick for 2.5 seasons. Yes. Do you want me to try and find that clip, Quinny?
Look, if you've got it, I just love it because it is one of the lines out of this show that became a meme.
Okay. Right. Well, let's get to that one.
Yes.
Pretty clouds. Yeah, fluffy. What? What? Oh, I didn't say anything. A friend of mine actually designed these war balloons. No kidding. Yep. A balloon. But for war. There's one thing my dad's good at, it's war. Yeah, it seems to run in the family. Hey, hold on, not everyone in my family is like that. I know, you've changed. I meant my uncle. He was more of a father to me. And I really let him down. I think your uncle would be proud of you. Leaving your home to come help us? That's hard. It wasn't that hard. Really? You didn't leave behind anyone you cared about? Well, I did have a girlfriend. May. That gloomy girl who sighs a lot? Yeah. Everyone in the Fire Nation thinks I'm a traitor. I couldn't drag her into it. My first girlfriend turned into the moon. That's rough, buddy.
I love the response to that. That's rough, buddy.
My first girlfriend turned into the moon. Yeah. Okay.
And I love the fact that, throughout a season and a bit, like it takes the best part of a season for them to get to the Northern Water Tribe. And there's this whole thing of, Aang learning water bending and stuff like that. They do that in about, half an hour of the live action film?
Yeah, like we're not discussing the live action one. I just threw that in for comedy. But
there is that whole thing of like, Sokka meets a beautiful girl and she turns into the moon. And, in an animated series for kids, you're like, yeah, okay, fair enough. She's turned into the moon. In a live action movie, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Just no.
It makes sense. As I find it unbelievable after watching the anime that there is a film that is one film trying to cover everything that was in that cartoon series, and I'm like, how? Why would you even bother? Lord of the Rings. They
didn't even try and do like one film to cover that. They just did the first book essentially, but they did it fucking terribly.
Yeah.
And it's insulting. And the funniest part about it is they're attempting to do it as a live action TV series on Netflix at the moment.
Oh,
cool.
I wouldn't be opposed to watching that because there's a lot in here that there are a lot of ingredients that are really interesting to me. It's just the packaging that I find really hard to engage with. When I was a kid, cartoons, aside from the standard ones that we all watched, they just weren't really my things, and particularly anime was not really my thing. Loved a fantasy novel. And when I first started watching this, I was like, fuck, if all of these elements were in like young adult fiction fantasy form, then I would be so into this. It's just hard for me to swallow it in kids' cartoon form.
Are you telling me that a live action Netflix adaptation is not probably going to be any good? What a rare misstep for Netflix.
I'm saying I would check it out.
I would hold my horses a little bit on that one, Pete, because there have been some descriptions that have been leaked already, and the creators of this who were working on the live action series have not that long ago, only in the last month or so, left the series, citing creative differences, it's fucked. Yeah, and those creative differences, like people are like, oh, it can't be that big a problem, can it? I mean, when you look at something like, what was it, Thingamy and Bone, Shadow and Bone, or you can kind of see, okay, this could work. Maybe if they, give it the time and the space that it needs, maybe this could work. But the descriptions of some of the characters came out, and everyone was like, what? So there's a bit where they're describing Aang and his relationship with Sokka and Katara, and going, Aang is, one of the younger people of the schoolyard, and
the schoolyard.
Yes. There you go. There's that first moment where you go, sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
So is this one of those live action adaptations where it's like a CW and now it's set in a school type thing?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
What?
Oh no, that's not the fantasy world building I was looking for.
Is it called Avatar High?
It's going to be like Riverdale, but for Avatar, and people are going to be like, the fuck is this?
I need to watch this dumpster fire.
I know. And I love it that the chat's like, what?
You thought
when we were doing an episode on Arthurian legend, I stumbled across a horrendous Disney movie.
Yes, I watched it.
Did you watch it all?
Yeah, I
only watched the first 10 minutes of it, which was Arthurian legend, but in an American high school.
Yeah.
Not good.
I did like Rob's thing, Avatar High, the musical, the series.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to read you the character description of Aang.
Avatar's quite good. Why are you doing this to me? Like, fuck it. Like, just do you want me to put up the trailer to the Shyamalan one again? Like,
maybe. Okay. Aang is a typical 12-year-old boy, a bit goofy, a bit nerdy, restless in school. Always eager to join his friends for fun and games. He's nimble, energetic, and quick in the schoolyard. Adopted at birth, he struggled with questions to how he fits in, but his slaving parents have worked hard to make him feel accepted, so he's grown up to become generous, kind-hearted, and cheerful. He's also been gifted with an incredible mystical power he doesn't really understand, but it could be the key to saving the world from a global conflict. It's a responsibility he's reluctant to accept because it takes him away from his family, friends, and everything he knows. All he wants is just to be a regular kid.
Oh no.
What the actual
Why
fuck?
don't they just not call it Avatar?
Exactly.
Just call it a different thing. Like
That's
this
the
is
thing.
this
Oh,
is
God.
what?
Pete,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound very vertically integrated of you. Like, you're not going to
Yeah.
go far in a marketing strategy if you're not going to take an existing property and just add, like, use it however you want to make a series to it. Come on.
Well, no, because what's interesting about this story is that really fun world building where you've got, element bending and hybrid animals and people living at the South Pole and the North Pole. That's what makes it fun.
Exactly.
If you try
yeah.
to just stick it in
School
our
animals.
world,
Yeah.
then no.
You've
There's
got
already
shitty cartoon X-Men or shitty teenage X-Men again.
Yeah, there's probably already a million fan fictions of the high school setting. We don't need to see it in live action.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and the other ones are just as bad. Like, I mean, there's talk about, and some of them, like, you could take them as being an interesting rereading of the idea. Like, Prince Zuko, or Zuko, is his dad's an ex-military or a military man, and he's trying to push his son into.
But we've seen that series.
Absolutely, I know, and it's just like, oh fuck. So I can see why the creators were like,
Yes.
peace.
Sounds great.
Oh,
No
yeah.
notes. Totally going to watch it. Like,
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
fuck is this?
I want the pitch meeting version.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about the flying bison, okay? Let me get right off of that thing.
I just hope that they all write a giant white bus to school, and it's called it's called Appa, and I'd be like, great, sure, makes sense.
And they have to
Perfectly
hail it by
normal.
going, yip, yip.
Oh, fuck.
I hate it.
Oh.
And I love that the chat's like, oh, they totally will.
Yep.
They totally are going to do this shit.
Absolutely. All I know is
And
that
as Rob points out, we all always have the original animated series.
Sure.
That's the thing. Like, they can fuck it up. They can make a shitty film. They did. And I remember watching the trailer for that thinking, that could be cool. Like, I kind of like the way that his tattoos, are very detailed and fine, and they glow and they look kind of cool.
except he very obviously was a kid who had never done martial arts, or if he had done martial arts, he had done some for 15 minutes before each scene because he moved like a brick. I'm the last airbender. Ooh. Or, basically he just spin around and 100 stunt people just went, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
The
fix it in
worst
post.
part about that film? You who have now watched the series and know how kind of badass earthbending is.
Yeah.
And then in that movie, there's a moment where, like, I think it's 12 earthbenders all face off against a bunch of Fire Nation people, and they like do this really complicated, stupid-looking choreography, and a brick about this big just floats up in front of one of them and just kind of slowly flies at the and you're like,
What?
oh no.
Cool.
No.
Sounds good. You're really selling
Yeah.
Peter and Jill on this.
I'm not expecting anyone to
No.
watch that movie because fuck knows nobody did.
I
Yes.
did not.
Yes.
I didn't
look,
bother. I mean, I was still pretty mad at Shyamalan for the happening at that point, and I was like, just no
It's
to
the
any of your stuff.
trees.
No to anything now. We're done.
Yes.
So
Our
don't-
relationship
yeah.
is over.
don't concentrate on that. Just concentrate on getting through the rest of Avatar at a time when you can absorb it, and it's worth it, because I think you will find good characters in there that you can relate to Because I don't know if actually that's more of a question for Quinny. Quinny, which character out of Avatar would you think I most closely resemble? And then I will do you.
Ooh.
It sounds dangerous.
That is not the question that I was expecting you to ask me.
In looks or personality?
You haven't watched the show, Jill, so you know.
No, but like I'm trying to
not
break
physically.
down what exactly it is you're asking.
No, it's like characterizations. Like, which character would you like? That's totally like, yeah, he's a Zuko. I don't think I'm.
Oh man,
enough.
the difficulty. There's a lot of characters.
Yeah, and there's a little bit out of everyone that you can sort of pick from. Everyone is represented.
There are moments where you're a little bit soccer.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, there's also like moments that you are totally fucking boomy. We should totally do something weird. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Well, you know,
I don't know. Who do you think you're the most like?
I think that like assigning yourself is like is weird. Other people are there to assign you. You don't choose your own avatar. It's like saying I'm the avatar.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
So you haven't done the BuzzFeed which
No.
my survey?
It's kind of like choosing your own Hogwarts house.
Yeah. You don't do that. That's what
you
hat's
have to.
for.
You have to be chosen. Predikanga brings up a character that I think is very important to mention because she's fucking badass.
Sitting right there in front of me. I was going to mention her because you were talking about earthbending, but go ahead.
Oh no, Toph.
She's great.
Yes.
A blind earthbender who is a princess, basically, or from a very noble house, who everyone thought she's very meek and everything, but she's just fucking amazing because she loves fighting.
Yes, badass.
Yeah, and the reason that she's blind and can fight is because she can feel the vibrations in the ground. So she runs around everywhere barefoot. And there's a lot of stuff to do with cleaning your feet in this show.
Yes.
There's more stuff about cleaning your feet in this show than I was comfortable with.
You reckon there's some Tarantino shit going on?
Yeah, it's like, can you pick the dirt out of your toes? And I'm like, no. Oh, why is there dirt in your toes? I don't want. This is not
yeah, there's a lot of cleaning the dirt out between Oppa's toes too. That was weird.
Yeah, but yeah, like Toph is great. She's a great character and a good addition that they pick up on the way because you get, you know, when you've got three main characters that you're following along, it can get a bit stale. And as it turns out, she is a great addition because she's totally unlike the rest of them. She fills in the gaps around the rest of it. Whereas, you know, Katara is a nice, wholesome, motherly figure who is trying to be nice to everyone and gets frustrated with people goofing off. Toph is just kind of like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. I want to punch something. Let's go gambling. Oh, actually, let's go scamming people. Let's go town to town and run scams and get rich because that'll be fun. Like, I'll use my powers to scam people out of shit. It's great. You know, eventually she stops doing that, but she'll totally go back to it in a moment's notice. Which is what I think. And that's what, like, she's teaching the Avatar earthbending and also how to run scams and cheat people out of money. Like, that's what the series can sort of be about. You're like, okay, great moral lessons. I get this.
Absolutely.
So what's Quinny's Avatar character, Dion?
Yeah.
You made Quinny do you
I
and then
I
you
am most like.
Yeah, I'm
change
just
the
trying
subject.
to.
Yeah, and my combination was a combination of soccer and boomy. So.
Oh, right. I consider Quinny a combination of Appa.
Come on.
And Eero.
I am so down for that. I would be the flying bison who just lies there and drinks tea.
Yeah, that's kind of Quinny. You'd be happy just like, well, the world is going good. It's like, I run a tea shop now. And I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, I like drinking
I love
tea.
that I love there's a bit with Uncle Iroh where he literally, like, Zuko is trying to catch up with Aang, and he's just like, yeah, I have decided we're going to park over here so I can find my thing for the game that I'm playing.
Yeah. It's like, I need to get a chip for a game that I play because I lost mine. So we're just gonna stop this whole mission that we're on and go find one.
Yeah.
And everyone is like,
Yeah.
what? It's kind of like, but he's also a general and the brother of the Fire Lord. So everyone's like, okay, fucking
Yeah.
crazy old man.
We will do what we're told.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other great characters in there. Ty Lee, who is this sort of, I guess, circus performer almost, who's extraordinarily badass.
Yeah. I think that's what I kind of liked about it. Once they introduce you to characters, they set up other characters on the other side as well. But those characters on the other side, like I always found that there's the gang, as you get it, the Avatar gang. They end up coming across against the sister of Zuko, Azula, and she creates her own kind of gang. But that kind of gang sucks because she's pressed them all into service. They don't want to be there to help her do her mission. She just basically rolls up and goes, "You're coming with me now." And then, she does all sorts of weird shit like, adopts a secret police from adopts a whole secret police force and makes them do her bidding. It's just kind of like, this is excellent. She's such an awful person, And then you think like, what could the Fire Lord be so evil? Because his daughter is literally pure evil. Yeah. But like a crazy evil. He can't be that bad.
And he's the good crazy evil. And you get Mai, who is Zuko's erstwhile girlfriend, who is just, an emo going somewhere to happen.
Yeah. I mean, and they do weird episodes too. I think it was in season 2 or maybe season 3 where they just had, they set up a whole bunch of drama, I think, in the end of season 2. And then they did the start of season 3 of just weird vignette episodes following what happened. Like, Appa gets abducted, and that becomes a huge thing for Aang, and it doesn't get resolved, I think, at the end of season 2. And you're like, what the fuck happened to Appa? And you don't find out until they do like a vignette episode later about this is what happened to Appa, or this is what happened to this person, or this is what happened to, and it's kind of like, that's really interesting. They just kind of threw those in there. And we're like, oh, that was cool. They're doing different sort of storytelling. They're not just following the same narrative of like, the gang run into a village, they save everything.
They have
a
run-in with a monster, or
yeah,
and
it's kind of cool.
So
evil people become good, and good people become evil, and it's complex.
It is, and I understand your difficulty with it, Pete, because it does have that thing of, okay, it's an animated series. It's very obviously aimed at kids, and I know, while I was watching it, my partner was listening to it and just going, God, his voice is so fucking annoying. I was like, yes, it is. But, after a while, you sort of really come to love the simplicity of the characters and where they're going. And that, I guess, then could bring us to what you've seen, Jill, a bit of Legend of Korra.
Yeah. So by the sounds of it, it's kind of the same premise, but maybe not so much like, oh, hey, we have to like journey to all these different places to collect the powers. And more so, she can do everything except airbend. So she is the Avatar, but she needs to learn the airbending. And it doesn't come so easy. But the reason why I couldn't get into it so much was I'm having the same trouble as Pete, is that I just am finding it too juvenile. And like, I love cartoons. I love anime. I can watch quite juvenile stuff. Like, I've watched all of Teen Titans Go. I love that. That's very junior.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, okay.
But this just, I don't want to say it, but I think it's like the American trying to imitate anime aspect of like, I just find the voice acting so grating. And it's like, you don't need to yell every line. You don't need to be 110 all the time. Like, can we have a little bit of nuance and a bit of flavor in the way that these lines are delivered, instead of, I don't want to do what you tell me to do. I gotta go do this. And I'm like, just take it down a notch.
I found like, I watched one episode, like, I'll lie. I did watch one episode of Legend of Korra. And actually, do you want to watch the trailer to Legend of Korra first to know what you're talking about? Should we do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll just go watch the trailer to
shift
that,
across.
and we'll just see how that's going to go.
Trading for a package of sunshine and ravioli. Macaroni, if you want the thing you love.
You did it! Congratulations! World's best cup of coffee. Great job, everybody. It's great to meet you. Hi.
Now come over here.
Yeah, that was a super dull trailer.
Yeah, so I feel like I just need someone to tell me what it's about.
Okay, so Jill, you've watched some episodes.
Yeah. Just before we went to those trailers, I told you what it was about.
True.
Does someone have a synopsis?
Yes.
No, I don't. But it's
The Legend of Korra by Dion. Once there was this
Pete,
girl.
It's basically the same thing, except like it's set in the future, and Aang was the last Airbender.
Yeah.
There
Last
are now
Avatar?
other
Yeah.
Airbenders. This girl is now the next Avatar, but she can do everything except airbend.
Yeah.
And so
it's,
she has to learn how to airbend.
according to Casper, it's steampunk. So putting a cog on things doesn't make it steampunk.
So basically, the series picks up
Industrial Revolution.
70 years after the end of the first Avatar, The Last Airbender story. New characters, new settings, and the protagonist Korra is the new Avatar and has been found. And so when Avatar Aang died, they kind of found her not that long, and she has been training pretty much since birth, I think.
Yeah, like she was a baby and could do like all the other bending except for air.
So the Avatar situation is kind of like the Slayer situation.
Oh yeah, you didn't pick that up from the intro.
Yeah, but I've made the connection, and now that you've put it in that context, I'm like, right, yeah.
Everything was
I get
fine
you. I
until the
understand.
Fire Nation attacked.
So can you watch Legend of Korra if you haven't watched? Like, can you dive in just to?
Yes, because it explains everything in the beginning. And like from osmosis, you've watched half of the first season, so you'll have no trouble like working out what's going on.
Should you watch it if you haven't watched Avatar?
I don't like either, so I can't answer that.
I think it's a very interesting take on it, because I think anyone who was looking at Avatar and looking at a sequel would have probably gone, okay, let's, set it a little bit closer. But this is a little bit like, Avatar, The Next Generation. And whereas the first one is very mystical, and, there's a little bit of technology in the sense it's the beginning of Iron Age stuff. Not Iron Age, sorry, of like Industrial Revolution stuff. This is an alternate kind of almost now. It sits somewhere in between like the 30s and the 50s.
I think your euphemism there or metaphor there, Quinny, is actually quite good. Yes, if The Legend of Korra is the next generation, Star Trek The Next Generation, then Avatar The Last Airbender is the original series. And while there are pros and cons to both, it's obviously superior that the live action Netflix series is going to be the best one. Just like Enterprise was the best Star Trek series ever.
Don't you say bad things about Enterprise.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
I fucking love that opening.
I hate it with the passion of 1,000 suns.
Dude, it's a fucking rock ballad on a Star Trek show. It's epic.
I know, yeah. That's what when I think rock ballad, I think Star Trek.
Yeah. I certainly don't think Jerry Goldsmith's soaring score at all. Yeah, so Korra is interesting in that it gives up the idea of her having to go and learn everything. She's learnt most of it already. And it's actually not so much about her trying to heal the world. I mean, it kind of is, but it's about going beyond the idea of there being one avatar and, that there is only one way of fixing things. And I kind of like that because
it's totally Buffy and the Slayerverse.
Like Buffy season 7.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, there is, I think by the end of it, there is still only one avatar or whatever. But in this one, the books are not, earth, fire, air, and water or anything like that. It's air, spirits, change, and then balance. It's a lot more kind of a different aspect of mysticism and a different way of looking at the world. And it's weird. It's fucking weird by the time you get to the spirits season. Like there's this whole thing where she's interacting with the spirit realm and trying to essentially mediate a peace between like the parallel universe of the spirits that start kind of bleeding into the normal world.
I'm almost afraid to ask, how many seasons or episodes are there of this?
There are 4 seasons.
Fuck me.
They're
not as long though.
I really feel like from all of that description that I would really dig this, but I just don't think that I dig the package. It's like you're kind of trying to hide my dessert in my vegetables. Like all of the story elements are like, oh, those story elements sound fantastic. But like kids' cartoon package.
Somebody's using that element of surprise.
I have to tell you, because like the 3 little airbending kids in the start of this show are fucking annoying. I want to drop kick every single one of them.
Well, that's why Aang's son looks exhausted. He's like, please take them.
Yeah.
And it's J.K. Simmons, which is really quite lovely.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like
if wow, Jill's like, no, fuck this show.
If J. Jonah Jameson,
voice another character with a moustache. What else can you do?
Nothing.
Oh, wow.
It's in his rider. That's it. So I'm almost. I'm
Are
almost.
you guys
afraid.
gonna rate this stuff?
Well.
Oh, very deep.
Wait, are you going to rate it? This is what I've got to find out. Like, what do you feel?
I'd give it a fence-sitting 50 because I don't particularly like it. And
For both or
seek
one?
it out to watch it.
Neither. A resounding, clanging meh from Jill.
I watched Korra, so I'll give that 50.
Wrong.
Okay. Peter, do you feel like you can in any way rate this?
I don't know that I watched enough of it to rate it. You guys are telling me that it really gets so good in seasons 2 and 3, and I feel like I've only watched the introduction of the thing. I'm not sure if you can rate something based on the first act of it.
Yes, you can. It's not accurate, but you can do it.
I know. I mean, God knows we've done it before.
Sure. That's why the very first episode of what was that TV show by
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you know,
guy.
the Orville.
The Orville. That was terrible. Whole season's a wash. Throw it out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. After one episode, we know everything there is to know.
It took me 2 watches of the first 5 episodes to actually get into the Orville. So, like, you guys aren't that.
Well, if you can do that for the Orville, you can at least give it a season for the thing that only goes for a few minutes in the background. Try it again with your relations when they get a bit older. You've got a nephew, don't you?
They're like 20-something minute episodes, and there's like 20 of them in the first season. That's a time commitment.
I know.
Yeah, Dion watched them all.
I watched a lot before lockdown.
Look, if I had to rate it on first impression, I'd probably give it a 60, but I don't know that it's fair because it's just not a package that I'm into. Yeah. So I don't think I'm rating it on the quality of the show. I think I'm rating it on how much I like a package that we already know is not my thing.
So,
okay, no, that's fair.
Make an assessment.
I just
She
did.
did. She said 60.
60.
I said 60,
Okay.
but I don't feel that that's fair. But I can't rate it any higher because I didn't really like it any more than that. But I don't think it's the show's fault. I just think it's my tastes.
Wow.
No, that's
Way to throw yourself under the bus. The show's good. It's just I'm bad. I'm bad for not liking it. 60. Oh dear. Quinny?
Okay, what about you,
rate it?
D?
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh.
So, Mia, yeah, welcome to bus throwing.
I'm a bus bender.
I'm going to rate it 12.
Okay.
No explanation.
That's good.
Dion.
Spent a good hour talking about how you watched 3 seasons of it and
I
you're giving it a
did.
12.
And how you really enjoyed it.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
giving it 12.
Yeah.
It's too much all at once. It's a long time. It's too much. No. I there are obvious flaws that I had with Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's not perfect. It has a lot of issues. And yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of it there. And to push through and put it all together, like when it ties itself up at the end, I'm okay with it. Half the narratives you can get rid of, but that's any cartoons at all. You can get rid of a lot of stories. But look, some of the voice acting is good once they start gearing up, once they've got halfway through the show and they realize they're going to get to the end. I get it. I'm there. I'm with it. But also occasionally I'm like, is that on still? Oh yeah, it's in the background. I haven't been paying attention to half this episode and that's fine. So it doesn't require too much of an investment. Will I be going back to watch it again soon? No. Not for a while. Am I going to go straight into Korra? Not for a while. And if I didn't have to give this an actual rating, I'd be a little conflicted. Look, I'm going to give it a 75 because there's a lot in there. It's just too much to get through for an early one, and I've seen Monkey, so none of this was a surprise to me. But it was nice that it didn't have as much problematic storylines as Monkey.
Yeah.
Very woke.
I'm pretty
I
sure
enjoyed
Aang
that.
never ever calls somebody a slur.
No, but you did.
A homophobic slur. What's more?
You called a whole bunch of people moles.
Yeah.
I mean, you did call a whole bunch of people benders at the beginning of the episode, so I think twice about that.
Yeah.
Fair. I'll wear it. My rating, I find it difficult, because we are kind of talking about 3 seasons of a series, and then also Legend of Korra, which is a very, very different beast. And I'm almost tempted to not rate Korra in the same thing because it's so different.
It's very different, jarringly different.
Yeah, well, I hadn't watched it when it came. Hadn't watched Airbender when it came out. I watched it a couple of years afterwards, and somebody was like, "Oh, you've got to check this whole thing." And I just mainlined the whole fucking thing, and I was like, "Wow, that was really fun and beautiful." And I enjoy animation, so it was completely fine with me. And then in 2012, just before I went over to America, the new series of Korra came out, and we knew some of the voice actors in it, and they'd talked about doing it, and I was like, oh wow, I am really keen to check this out. And I started watching, I'm like, this is fucking hard going. It feels so strange and so different from what had come before. But even by the end of that, I was like, Julie, do the thing, and I was into it. I enjoyed that for all new reasons. So look, overall, I'm going to give it an 83.
Okay.
Just a randomized number on the end there. I am a score bender.
You're some sort of bender.
Hey. If I was going to rate them separately, I'd say that Last Airbender is probably for me, it's a 90. I really enjoyed it all the way through. And yes, it has some dull moments, but mostly really good. And Korra is somewhere around 70.
Also, top darts for the show for coming
weird.
out in 2004.
Yeah.
But you've also got to give it some context. In 2004, I would say that this show was skirting that fine line between is this a kid's show or is this teaching children socialism?
Oh, it's yeah.
Which I was kind of like, there's some pretty good ideas in there. And some, pretty anti-Chinese state-controlled state ideology coming in this third season there, which is a bit like, oh, fuck, okay.
Yeah, we got some strong opinions about totalitarianism and, the position of the Tibetan people and all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of shit like that. Yeah, you got to, I would say, Pete, you could persevere until you get to the part where they reach the fabled city that everything is perfect. And everything is perfect because they haven't told the population that they're at war and they control the flow of information. And they switch.
North Korea.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Everything's a beautiful, wonderful city state that they do. And the figurehead king.
The glorious leader of Ba Sing Se.
Doesn't actually know what the fuck's going on because the secret police have basically enthralled them. But there's a great moment when they are talking to their guide who refuses to leave them, and then basically she can't stop them from doing something, and she just turns up the next day and it's a completely different person, but it's the same name. No, it's always me, silly. It's like, holy fuck, guys. What do you want to go and see today? It's like, yeah, it's quite good. Anyway.
Yep. And yes, Rob says Clancy Brown is the leader of those secret police. So fuck yes.
Yes. Anyway, I know it feels like I should be giving it more, but
look, the thing is, there is so much in there, and it is something that rewards a long viewing. But also, if you're not into animation, what I would dearly love to see is somebody write a novelization of it. I was quite literally looking to see if there were novels.
Well, there's comics. The search continues.
There are.
There's The Lost Adventures, The Promise, The Search, The Rift, Smoke and Shadow, North and South, Imbalance.
If it was a novel series, I think Pete would dig it.
I would definitely. When I first started watching it, I was like, "Oh, I wonder if this is an adaptation of the novel." I would read a novel. Like I said, if you package this up to me as young adult fantasy, I'm there for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, by the looks of it, it has never been done as a novel, which is, to be honest, a shame, because I really would love for you to experience this whole thing, but also I'm not going to make you watch the fucking thing.
Oh, don't be saying. Well, Casper, I hope that we have scratched your itch, and now that you know, and hopefully you're not too disappointed with us, because we had nice things to say. Well, some of us did. Just hate on Jill and Peta and Quinny. But I liked it.
I didn't have bad things to say. I just had nothing to say. Because if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
And Jill, you say it best when you say nothing at all.
Fuck.
Wow.
I will put out something though.
Go back to the kitchen, Jill. Shut up, Jill.
That is not what I meant. I was quoting a song. Oh, God.
Okay. I rephrase this. Quinny is totally a soccer, but season 1 soccer.
Yeah, sorry. I'm now going to now try and drown myself in my own water.
I just like to rile you up.
Jill, Casper's threatening to start bugging us with Stargate, which I feel might be a little bit more up your alley.
Bitch, I'll do a one-woman show on Stargate, Casper. Let's talk.
I mean, you won't have to. I'll join you.
Yes!
But is it,
oh my God.
Is it Stargate?
And if Beck can get over her, weird dreams, maybe she'll join us too.
What about Stargate Atlantis?
I like Atlantis.
Yeah. What about Stargate Universe?
Not like Universe.
I'm one of the few people I think who has watched all of the available episodes of Stargate Universe.
Me too.
I should try and go back and watch Universe, but it was so
what I liked
different.
about Universe is that it was like Stargate crossed with Sliders.
Oh.
It had that ticking time bomb on every episode in the beginning. Yeah. That got me in.
I think there was a short web series that was based around Catherine discovering the Stargate in the 30s. I haven't watched that.
I've got to say though, every time.
Oh, that was not great.
That's why it didn't get renewed and didn't get picked up on a network.
Every time we put a call out saying, hey, what do you want us to review? There's always a lot of people who they're going, hey, these long form television series that people have watched over years. You should review that. And it does put some of us at a significant disadvantage to just play catch up. While I have watched Stargate,
that's why we do those things like when we had that huge Supernatural retrospect and we just talked about 15 seasons. If one of us has seen it all, then we'll do a show.
Okay, well then you know what? Stargate may well be on the cards.
Speaking of
Amy
shows,
has mentioned Luca.
What's Luca?
Oh, it was that new Disney movie. I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, right. Or the Fast and Furious retrospective. Yes, I know. I still have my Jean-Claude Van Damme retrospective. We could go through the filmic paradise that is all of Jean-Claude Van Damme's works.
Including his appearance on Friends?
Sure, why not? I love Friends.
Yeah.
Does he do the splits
That's
and
where
kick
I'm
someone
at
in
the
the
moment.
balls? Sure. Babylon 5.
What
Yes, I
are
know.
we
Babylon
doing
5.
on Friday?
But is it also Babylon 5 and Crusade and then Legend of the Rangers? Hey.
And Live and Die in Starlight.
Yes, thank you, Jill. What are we doing Friday? Well, we don't know because we haven't actually released the July schedule yet, have we?
Oh, Friday's July.
Yeah, Friday's July.
Cow.
And let's be honest, we may have been a bit distracted about what the fuck's been happening around Australia in the last few days. It's been a bit weird.
Yep.
Going in and out of lockdowns.
Well, just in.
Yeah.
No one's going out.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of any states being like, actually,
Victoria's gone out.
We could.
Yeah, Victoria's having a great time.
Oh, Farscape. Jesus God. Okay. Look,
Farscape is a surprisingly great show. But like that's a
really
conversation
is.
for another time.
Yes, it would have been, and I
yeah.
would have absolutely loved it and thought it was fucking amazing if it wasn't broadcast on free-to-air television out of fucking order in Australia. So I couldn't get into it because I think I ended up watching the finale to season 1 3 weeks after the pilot came out.
Oh,
when I saw that, and I was like,
Thanks,
"What the
Channel
fuck
9.
is happening?" Yeah, thanks.
They
Channel 9.
partially funded.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Channel 9 was an investor in that program.
God,
Yep.
Anyway.
Because they don't they clearly never understood genre.
So will we be doing a show?
But
Friday?
so Friday we are talking about Narnia.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that Friday?
Is it?
That's what it was on the schedule, but you know what? Maybe it won't be because we've got things to prepare for.
Yeah, maybe we'll just put a schedule up, Quinny, before we.
Hey, I was trying to work on it today.
Oh no, it's good. No, it's fine. Maybe we'll do that. Oh yeah, sure. It sounds Narnia. Narnia
Jesus,
business.
Amy, no.
Okay, it's officially
Love
it's officially called. I'm changing it in the calendar right now. I just have mixed bag Narnia, but that's changing to Narnia business. Fucking perfect.
That is the best title for it, and I'm hoping that that can be a thing that goes ahead.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
All Narnia all
Admittedly,
the time,
yes, there is a
potentially.
lot of preparation that needs to be done.
But we'll come out. We'll put it out tomorrow. I swear. We'll put out the show thing tomorrow. Stay tuned to the Facebook and see what we're going to come up with for this month because there's a lot of cool shit, isn't there, Jill? What's coming out this month? What's coming out this month that you're excited about?
Yeah.
Jill?
Oh fuck, we've got Black Widow next Friday.
Yes.
The Loki finale the week after that.
Yes.
Woo.
Yeah.
Also, Space Jam. The sequel to Space Jam, Space Jam 2. Please don't anthropomorphize women and bunnies. That's what it's saying.
Yep.
And then G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes, that looks good.
Also, Amazon's
I'm actually kind of keen for that.
Amazon's The Tomorrow War is coming out, and potentially. Well, okay, sure.
Yes. Sorry, that looks
Worst
like
Chris.
looks like the worst Chris in the worst kind of jingoistic fucking gun shooty flag waving bullshit that I've
support our troops
With the most nonsensical time travel plot premise I've ever seen.
He looks like Tom Cruise in that movie. Like it's a bit weird. He's
Yeah, it's live,
definitely
die,
trimmed
repeat, but
down
not.
a lot. Like he's a lot slimmer than he was in like Infinity War.
Yeah, he's looking very, very slim, but also just don't care.
Well, look. All right. Thanks, everyone, joining. That was a long chat. Long chat about Avatar. Just like all 3 seasons of Avatar. Long.
Yeah.
But worth it, sort of.
Yes. And hopefully next week my internet will be better so that I can be, slightly easier to talk to.
Please inform us next week about how much your phone bill is because you had to tether this whole show off it.
Yeah, this has not been a good time.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. Look, thank you so much for joining us. As always, send in your suggestions to info@theperiodictableofawesome.com. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Do all those things. Send us voicemails. Send us whatever the fuck you want, and we will include it in a show if you send us your stuff.
Hi, Quinny. What you wearing?
We will include that. Yeah. If somebody sends me an audio thing going, hi, Quinny, what are you wearing? We will put that on the podcast, and oh my word.
Oh, good.
I will tell you.
It's like, thanks, Quinny.
And like Amy's like, no dick pics. No, we'll put those on the podcast.
Well, I don't,
your name and address.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you can send a dick pic via voicemail, but sure, give that a go.
Look, it's the future. I'm sure someone knows how to do it.
I'm pretty sure there's audio description penises out there.
Or an audio description penis.
I am diverting everything.
That's my description.
I'm diverting everything to Quinny's email and phone now. That's it.
I'm changing my thing
Quinny.
on Twitter right now. What are you? I am an audio description penis. What's my alt text? God only knows.
Terrible. Oh, dear. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, good. Bye. We're going to rate Jordan.
I want to live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. See, power girl, keep staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me weights, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. Martial arts from Iron Fist and Wall. I'll dance her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind. Or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. There's NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, be Tony Stark at all the trendy bars. It'd be a guy's night out. We'd make that wolf pack out.